That light's bright. Good evening. I said that I would do a inbox review on my recent purchase, the Junkers 87G2 Stuka from Trumpeter 1 in 24 scale. And the time has come because I tidied my shed up today. You might have seen that. So I'm going to give it a go. So we're going to start off with instruction book. We're going to have a quick flick through that first and see what that's all about. So parts as in, so a couple of sprues, and they're all labelled up quite oddly on these ones. You've got an AD and a C1, a C2, a WD, GD. What else we got? A WA times 2 and decals. Photo etch parts in this kit, and also rubber tyres. You can see that I've highlighted that there. That's you can have this one for free, and not many people will do this. It's because I'm just a little bit sort of anal on what you will. And when you've come to, you know, when you're coming down to finishing last bits of your kit and you're looking at the rest of your sprues, either in your sprue holder today or in your box, and you're thinking, what part is that? Where's that? And then you're having to start flick through your manual to see if you've missed out off, especially when it's small parts. A little bit of a tip here, so you can see sort of B1, B2, etc, etc. And I'm just going to pick a sprue out at random. So T down at bottom there, look, T 24, 25, 26 and 27. And if I just bring sprue T into shot, which I've labelled up, and if I just hold that back, so those yellow bits of masking tape there that's on, they're over the parts, and those are the parts that correspond with, yeah, you've guessed it, with those bits there. Then when it comes to the end of your build and those bits are still on, really that's all you should have on, because all the other parts are used, and that's common sense, isn't it, really? So my kit, I've taken it out of the box and I've already put it into my sprue holders. Reason I've done that, and you can see that I've labelled them all up already. So for example, we've got C1 there, and if I just sort of, like, if I can find it on here, if I just flick round here, look, so your C1 there obviously corresponds with your C1 there, and then once you start getting into your kit and you're looking and you're going, oh right, I need part S13, there's sprue S, so it's just a matter of whipping it out of my sprue holder, taking part 13 off, slipping it back. Just makes sense again. I know some people use a poly bag and they'll put a label on a poly bag. I know that my good friend Jez does that, and my good friend Ian in New Zealand, he does that as well. But I prefer this one. I am very, very lucky. I do know that I've got a massive, massive garage to build in. Park the really expensive car on the drive, and sort of sit in my man cave. Well, I call it my man cave. So we've got, it's like a landscape book, if you will, isn't it? Look, it's not like your Revel one where it's that way on. It's actually that way on. Don't make any difference. Kicking off with engine, so you get a full engine in this kit. And again, I'm more interested in, not sort of like, I will do a bit of a sprue review in a bit, but I'm more interested in looking and seeing what sort of fiddly parts that we've got. I am doing this review off my phone as well. Unfortunately, I haven't got two cameras and zooming in and zooming out facilities. My editing button is my pause button. That's basically all I've got. But what I'm looking at when I'm doing this review for anybody that wants to watch it, is I'm just looking at these small bits, and actually how small are they, and is the carpet monster going to eat them? Hopefully not. To stop them small bits coming off, if I'm taking a small bit off a sprue, so if I just have if I nip over here and see if I can find a relatively small part. There aren't many small parts on this kit because it is a 1 in 24. I'm going to just take this one at random. So this is sprue B, and it's not a small part, but say this one for example, what I would do is I would just put some masking tape underneath that part. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to move my hand closer. I'd just put a bit of masking tape underneath that part, sticky side up, so that when you come to get your cutters or your knife and you go nick, it sticks to tape and then it don't go ping and ping off anywhere. Quite handy to know that. I do use that on really small parts, and you know, like parts that's got right little flimsy bits. So let's have a look. So quite a few small bits on here, and it's telling you to pre-paint them before they get installed, which is fine, that's fair enough. But again, just make sure that, you know, especially if you're a bit of a newbie, make sure that you just sort of like marrying these surfaces up. So this one and this one, and it's sort of like it's got to attach to this bit here, and you can see that this is painted. So on the back side of that, just make sure that you're just either not going to paint it, put a bit of masking tape on before you spray it or paintbrush it or whatever, and it'll just make sure that that glue adheres those two little bits of plastic a lot better. If you're a Tamiya extra thin user, Tamiya cement user, especially the extra thin, and there must be some of you out there because it sells by the million, you know that it also knackers end of your sort of nib up as well, doesn't it? So when you're dibbing in and then putting glue onto painted surfaces, even though it's a capillary reaction that it uses to draw it in, the tip of your glue still gets that gunky little bit of paint on, and then after a while the end of your little tip there, it becomes really stiff and it's hard to clean off. You can clean it off with a bit of cellulose thinner, but you don't need to do that. Just make sure that you just get a nice little sanding stick or a little file and just rub that little bit of paint off. So back to your engine then. So you can see I won't start on engine, by the way. I'm a backwards builder, but coming across you can see, and it makes a pretty decent sized engine. Not really a lot of colour call out for that. And that, it's sort of like looking at your gates here, you know, for to attach it onto your main fuselage. There's colours on this, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of googling for that, I think, or ask the boys in the 1 in 32 scale Facebook forum to see if they've got any ideas. But saying that, you can see your cowlings cover it in, but you do have to paint on inside of your cowling. That's a bit weird. So you must be able to sort of see through that little bit there. Looks like that's, yeah, you've got, so on Trumpeter, different to Revel, it's like the exploded view on making your parts, coming across, and then it shows it full, and then it'll probably go, it does look, it shows you how it goes like that. Okay, moving down a little bit, props and back shaft, yeah, okay, that's fine. What we got here, opposite, I hate that. I hate it when it says opposite, because you've got to make sure that you're doing one at a time, because if you don't, you can easily put the left on the right and the right on the left, and don't kid me on, because I know you've all done it. So just make sure that with stuff like that, where it says opposite, make sure that you're just doing one at a time. Moving on, stage 3, looks like we've got office bed, and a few nice little touches here. Looks like a fire extinguisher. Make holes, plenty of holes in there, cockpit. Okay, some kind of, I don't know what that is, a bottle anyway, whatever it is. Coming down, and again you've got small parts by the looks of it. This office looks like it's really well detailed. That's going to be a job in its own, definitely. Finishing it off on this side, putting back bulkhead in, your seat, so your seat that you're putting in here, and that's making your seat up here look a bit up at top. Okay, a few little more dials and switches coming in. Let's have a look. All the arrows there, look, it's coming down and it's telling you where to put it. Okay, so that's stage 1, 2 and 3. Stage 4, the office has got interior sides on it. That's common, I think, in your larger scale builds, especially aircraft. or even stuff like your 1 in 72s, you know, like your Hercules and stuff like that. It's a tube within a tube. That's what they do, which is fair enough. And again, you've got some little switches and some more little parts across here. Interior is is grey. Interior is grey, and then it goes together here. So we've got two sides on, something to attach over at top, like a bit of a bracing strut by the looks of it. That's there, look like that. Painting all that grey. Stage 4. Stage 4 is quite big actually. Stage 5, horizontal stabilisers. I always get them wrong. I call them verticals and all that kind of thing. Now then, let's have a look here. We've got a decal, right? So I've had a look at that, and it's all raised, and I hate that, I've got to say, because I'm going to have to look at. I've got the sol and the sets. Yeah, they're all there. But I'm going to have to look at making sure that I either sol and set that right on, or I might have to just sand it down. I'll have a look at it anyway when it gets close to time. So you can see then stage 5. So stage 5, you're together. I wonder what that seam's going to be like across top of there, because here, you know, you've got your detail line. So that's going to have to be, if that needs any filler across that seam, I'm going to have to put a little bit of masking tape on these two sides here, just to put a little bit of filler in on that side. And again, small parts. D26 could prove to be a little bit fiddly, that, but again, before you cut it off your sprue, little bit of masking tape underneath, chink chink, and then it won't fly off. Okay, left horizontal stabilizer, right horizontal stabilizer, and again, if you've got all your bits and they're all over your desk, it's easy to mix them up and get it wrong. So one at a time for me. We've got, I'm going to have to keep an eye out for these. These are braces, aren't they, for this main part? So, let me just have a look here. Looks like we've got a couple of bits together, slotting in, and then 2 braces. That's because, again, because it's such a big bird, there'll be some weight in these wings, so they've got to be put on with a strut, just to give him a little bit of stability. Part 7 looks like, is that undercarriage? Ammunition, make holes. Learnt through mistakes, and went out and got myself one of those, because I was literally using one drill fits all for all my hole drilling across every bloody model that I got, and then yeah, it ends up either being too big or too small, so things don't fit, or things fit and fall out, and it looks a mess. So I went and trekked myself and got myself one of those. And part 7 did air, and part 8 is the opposite side. Okay, part 9, we're on to, let's have a look here. So your fuselage is built, you've got your stabilisers on with your struts and your rudder. That all looks quite simple enough. Bit of an upside down job to do on your canopy on that rear piece of glass. Little aerial, we all know that's going on last, and machine gun, that's going to go through. Oh, we've got photo watching this, and you can see that I've already highlighted that in yellow. That's just to bring my attention to it when I end up coming to build it. And again, they've used the arrow system, so that little arrow there. So trumpeter again, looks like they use the exploded view, and then there you go. So that's quite easy, and then you've got basically 1, 2, 3, 4 bits, and it all looks like it just goes together. That'll be interesting, won't it? So we've got a hole here for this strut, a tiny little strut on this side, so there must be, let me just have a look here. So that comes down into edge of that, and as long as you get the end of that down onto the bottom of that, then that should all line up properly. So that looks all okay. Turning the bird upside down, we've got all the flaps and the tiny little bits. I'm just going to change my finger around. All those sort of like, I don't even know what to call them. the levers out there that make your flaps go up and down. Okay, that looks like it's all just going to go together. Then we're on to main undercarriage, and again we've got left main undercarriage and right main undercarriage, and again build them and either put a bit of tape on them once you've built them saying left and right, you know, like you do with your wellies. Otherwise you can get them mixed up as well. Panzerknacker is this one, this stuka, and that will actually be the first part that I build. I am a backwards builder and I always do armament first. The reason that I do armament, I was explaining this to somebody the other day, the reason that I build armament first is because what I found when I started modelling again after a long time off was I will build the bird, paint it, gloss it, decal it, gloss it, weather it, pin it, get it all ready, and then it'd be sort of sat over there for another week, then looking all nice and shiny, just getting dusty, while I started to build all your fuel tanks, missiles, bombs and that kind of stuff. And to be absolutely honest, I got bored out of my head, and you start to switch off. Well, I did, just started to switch off. So to combat that, on one of my next kits, I built armament first. Once I built armament, I'll mask the window off and then put that to one side, and then that's done. Once that's done, I'll do undercarriage, and then that's done. And when I said done, I mean build it, prime it, paint it, gloss it, decal it, gloss it, do absolutely everything. The only thing I won't do is matte coat, and that's because once the build is entirely finished, I'll matte coat it all. But as far as the sort of like the sub-assemblies, aren't there? Once you've got your sub-assemblies done, it's just like Lego, then it just goes together. So again, you can see that I've highlighted my photo etch there, and again, that's just to bring my focus to it. So fitting the main right machine gun on, so we'll have one on right and one on left, and putting your undercarriage on. And again, let me just have a look. So got quite a flat surface across there, haven't I? So won't need to put these on too early, because the bird will sit flush on that, and then I'll just sort of put, if I need to do any top work, I'll just sit it onto a bit of a brace. Okay. Stage 17, I'm out of breath. Stage 17, it looks like armament. Now I'm going to turn over, because on this page here, it's giving you, I don't know if you can see that, options. So it's giving you 1, 2, 3, 4 options here to go onto this outboard area of the wing. Now I've highlighted already D, R and DL, I'm guessing. Yeah, DL, right and left, of course. And I've highlighted that there, D, R and DL. And again, it just, I can forget all about that then at top end and just concentrate on what I need to. And again, there's a little bit of photo etch going on to that. It's a massive kit, this. I've seen a guy holding it on Facebook. It looks about as old as me, and he's literally sort of stretching his arms out as wide as he can to hold it. So I know it's massive. Colour call out, painting and marking guide. Let's have a look here. Right, so we've got German Air Force, Stab SG2, GUH7. It doesn't give me any dates on that. It usually gives you a date on that, but it ain't on this one. So what have we got? That's standard, isn't it, these days? Because they can't show the S word up there. I'm not sure if that's a decal or not, that yellow one. Whether it is or it isn't, for me and for many of you, it'll be painted on, because that's what we're doing, ain't it? Especially people with airbrushes, they've got that. You can just do it. You can, well, I'm not saying that you can't do it with a paintbrush, but it's just easy, isn't it, when you've got an airbrush. And again, it all looks, when you look at that bird, it just looks, well, it looks mean, doesn't it? I've heard some people saying and I have had it pointed out to me that I need to cut 3 centimetres out of here. I paid a fortune for this kit, and I sort of replied with a bit of tongue-in-cheek, if you will, saying, you know, look, I've paid a fortune for this, and I'm not going to cut 3 centimetres off it, because at the end of the day, when it gets finished and when it's sat in my shed and it's just me that looks at it, when I get lads round or people round into my garage, like my dad when he comes for his tools, and he's going to look at this completed stuka, and I'm going to do a pretty good job on it, I'm sure. He ain't going to look at it and go, yeah, that's nice, looks long, because he ain't got a clue, and I wouldn't personally have a clue either. I know that there's a sort of band of people called rivet counters. I'm not one of them, but I do like a bit of detail. I do like attention to the detail, don't get me wrong, but I'm certainly not going to look at that and think that's far too long. So I know everybody's got an opinion, but I'm keeping that 3 centimetres on. I've paid for it, so I'm going to paint it. Underside then, wingtips are yellow and your yellow band comes round as well. Just looking at that then, so it looks like I might have to put that decal on before I put the gun on. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to get it on, am I? Right, okay, so note to self, duly noted. So what's the difference? Ah, right, so the difference is, so again, you've got German, I'll just focus for you, German Air Force again, obviously, your colour call out up here at top, that's fine, painting and marking guide. It looks very, very similar. The only difference is, if I just show you underside again, on this version, and then just whip that page over and show you that version, it's got a yellow V there, and by the looks of it, it comes off at top as well. I'm no World War II expert by any means. I've absolutely no idea why that is, but I'm sure there's people out there who will be able to comment on it and tell me, or anybody else, why that is. So, but there you go. So moving on to sprue bits then. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get each one individually and just have a quick look through. I just need to put my specs on for this part, and again, you know, reviews. So what we're looking at then, we're looking at detail, aren't we? Because this kit, it costs a fair old whack of cash, and you've got to be able to take your time with it, but you also want that little bit of detail that's going to make it stand out, because it's not a 1 in 72 that were £5.99, and that looks really nice. That's engine block, that. So C2 going back in, no problems there. Now I'm not going to talk about flash and sinkholes and pinholes and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, I know it were a lot of money, but I watch video reviews where people harbour on about, oh, there's this and there's that, and at the end of the day, we've got files, we've got filler, and it's not the end of the world, is it? So if there's a little bit too much plastic just moulded onto one at parts, get over yourself and just sand it off, because that's what the rest of us have to do. That's absolutely gorgeous, that's lovely. Okay, so that's C1, that one. Back in. That's the strut, look there, look, can you see that? That's that massive strut that goes through the wing by the look of it. So sprue D, so what we got? We've got flaps, yeah. Okay, a little bit of detail on there. It is, let me just have a look here. Yeah, it's panel lines, it's not raised, but there is, look at rivet detail. So rosy riveter doesn't need to come out. I said that like I've got one, but I ain't really. Foot pedals, loads and loads of little bits on there, but again, look at, you can see, I just want to put that down there, what we're looking at there, look, so you've got, look at the detail. I'm just going to come in as close as I can But again, you know what phones are like, they start to lose the focus, don't they? Okay, popping that one to one side, sprue WA. This is bombs, armament and all that sort of stuff. So again, because I've chosen the D, which I think is fuel tanks, I probably won't use a lot of parts off that one, to be fair. So that one's WA, and this one, oh, WA again. So again, a mirror of the other one, and then the last one on that little sprue, part one there, WB, you can see there. So let me come out. I'm not sure what it is because I haven't looked. Oh, there, look. So you can see. Can you see that? Where it's just like a little bit misshaped. Yeah, I'll get it on that side. Look, see that tiny little bit? Yeah. Crack on, lads. Not end up world. So that's that side at sprue's done. Coming on to this side, big bits. And we've got that's nice detail in there. Look at that. That's lovely, is that? Panel line. So both sides, I'll hold it that way for you so that you can have a general look. And I'm not going to go across fast. I'm just going to take my time and just come down slow. Let's have a look at these bits here. Look. Okay. And again, there, look, yeah, bit of yellow masking tape. So I know that that's unused parts, like I said before. And I know that they should still be on once I've finished the build. That goes back into there. While I'm here, I'm just going to bring that and that across. Yeah, that's just there, look. It's only a burr, no drama, calm your passion. And a nice little bit of clear on that. You know, you see people say, oh, how do you clean your windows and how do you get your glass absolutely spot on, and say, oh, I dip it in future and I dip it in this and I dip it in that. I tell you what I use, Windoline. It's glass cleaner. So it's as good as out. And again, it's, let me just come to this side. It looks a little bit foggy, but that's because in my shed at the minute it's neither hot nor cold because I've got gas fire on behind me. But it is a bit, I can see condensation on my breath while I'm talking. Fantastic rubber tyres. Yeah, gorgeous. Sorry, let me just put that there. There is some detail in that. I know you're getting reflection off the packaging. Let me just see if I can put it down here a bit. There you go, how's that? So a little bit of, and they're really squishy then. They're nice soft rubber. Moving on, sprue B. Sprue B looks like your horizontal stabilizers that at the back. And again, let's have a look at your detail. If I can just get it to focus, there you go. Just lift that up a little bit, just so that you can see. And again, when you're looking at that and you've seen the box art for this, you know that it's a dirty aircraft, so it'll take a bit of a wash. Oh, that's the, where I was my bloody finger. Those are the bits that were in the office. And again, just, that's nice. Little bit of detail in there, lovely. Unused parts. Spot on. Next in my sprue holder, I'm just going to dig it out. Photo etch. And you can see, did you see where I put on the on my instructions where I just highlighted it in yellow? And again, they look pretty decent, these. I haven't got a proper photo etch bender, but I have got a little vise, so I'll stick them in there and I'm sure that'll be okay. But then it looks like you've got gun sights. Not sure about that. I think all these are just for inside your cockpit. I'm pretty sure. That's where I remember doing most of that. These are what I wanted. Aren't they? So that's looks like fuel tanks and a few little bits, and again they'll take a nice wash when they're done. Rest of me, sorry, I keep forgetting to move camera. Rest of glass parts, no problem there. Propellers, looks like your propellers, and again that'll just snip off that, them little bits of bead in there, no problem there. Coming across office, look, that's where it's at. Look at chuffing hell. Yeah, pre-drill your holes, so I'll have to look at instructions there just to see which holes I have to drill out. Flight stick, yeah, nice. It's all nice, that nice bit of detail there. Look, can you see with rivets? Spot on is that. And even up here, let me just come out a little bit, I'll put it down, and again here, look, nice little bit of detail in there. Sprue T, that's Sprue T. Coming up, Sprue ED. They look like they're going back at, well, they've already attached. That's unusual, isn't it? Anyway, so again, coming on to this main part that looks like it goes underneath the belly. It's hard to see at minute, but the detail on it, you can just barely see. Sorry, you know them the mobiles, they do that auto focus thing, don't they? They're nice. They're nice. Engine struts, lovely. Looks like some kind of filtration system at front. Now then, what's that all about? There's 3 little bars of plastic in there. I wonder if there's a mesh grill for that. If there ain't, I've got some mesh grill, so I can make one. A little bit of scratch, never killed anybody. Right, 2 sprues to go. So sprue S, again, looks like all the armament. I think there's 2 different sizes for this one. Nose cone, lovely, nice, no blemishes on that. That looks alright, does that. Unused part, oh there we go, it's there, look. It's there, and it's raised. So once that's primed and painted, I think a Solana set might pull that decal down onto that. So should be alright, I might get away with that. And then last one, Jesus, look at the size of these. So your wheel cowlings and your exhausts, are they drilled? No, but you can't see on camera, because normally they're round, aren't they? But these aren't, they're sort of horizontal. And I've lost my horizontal drill. Looks like that's firewall backplate that goes between the engine and the fuselage. And then Panzerknacker, there it is. So that's the big machine gun parts. Tidy, nice detail. I can see it, you can't. Again, flimsy, a little bit of masking tape just underneath bottom of that before you just nick it off there. Because if you nick that now, that is going that way at 100 mile an hour. So a little bit of masking tape underneath that, parts like that, and just press down and it won't go anywhere. Do I need to be concerned?